Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honors, and glories unto Yeahhhhh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakudash, the blindness to my apostles and elders and great millstone that doing evil well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the members of the elect, the elected 1/3. Shalom. This is Brother Dawadah from the GMS Detroit camp coming at you with another video through the spirit and power of Yeahhhhh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakudash. And today I want to do a video going in on this so-called UFO that they shot down. And Lord's will this video be edifying. Now, obviously Esau Edom did not shoot down no UFO. Alright? That's literally impossible. Alright, because UFOs, they have power that is otherworldly. And that's power that Esau cannot fight against and prevail. Okay? But anyways, what you have going on is a lot of different UFO articles and, posts being posted concerning the so-called UFOs. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 2:11. And he reads, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us." Satan is whom? The physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, the so-called white man. "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." The word ignorant means to not know. So we know this devil's devices. We know his different tools that he uses, different tactics that he uses. Problem, reaction, solution, order out of chaos, an example. Along with many others. And we're not ignorant concerning his agenda, all right, or his propaganda. So he'll put stuff like that out, and you have people that get worried about these so-called UFOs. Imagine their reaction when they see that. Oh, okay, we can fight them. Oh, we'll be fine. We know that Esau gets down. All right? No, Esau ain't shoot down no UFOs. All right? DC's UFO lobbyist doesn't buy the White House's extraterrestrial denial, which inside those so-called UFOs are not little green men from Mars. They're actually angels. Right? It says from Time magazine, why the U.S. is shooting down so many unidentified objects. None of those unidentified objects that they've shot down are so-called UFOs. Alright? The chariots, they can do maneuvers, alright, that Esau will say defies gravity, defies the laws of physics, defies the laws of gravity. And that's pursuant to Ezekiel, the 1st chapter. See? Remember what's written of in Job 13:4. So don't think that, they shot down the chariot, I don't know how we're going to make it. That no. Job 13:4, but ye, that's the so-called white man, are forgers of lies. Remember, he's a liar and the father of it. Pursuant to John 8:44, he's the father of lies. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. So don't believe this devil claiming that he shot down a so-called UFO. Remember, one angel, which the angels, they pilot the so-called UFOs. They maneuver it. They drive it. Now, one angel can destroy the whole earth. One angel slew 185,000 Assyrian troops. All right? One angel did that. Okay? And one angel slew, I believe it was 85,000 Israelites. All right? So, these angels, they alone can destroy the planet. Alright? So you're telling me these angels that maneuver these so-called UFOs, they slipped up, they was drunk on the job, they was driving under the influence, and they let Esau shoot them down, and they just, no. That's madness. Alright? This devil, he's a liar, and he's the father of it. Alright? They cannot be forgotten. Right? Now, let's go to Isaiah 19. Because Esau, he can't deal with the actual UFOs. Isaiah 19:1, the burden of Egypt, which is America. Behold, Yeahhhhh Ba'ashem Yahushua rideth upon a swift cloud. So look here, that swift cloud is a so-called UFO. And it's swift because those chariots, they move quickly. Alright, there's a video on YouTube where you see a chariot zoom and then stops out of nowhere and looks like lightning. Like lightning just moved, pew, and then it stopped, pew. Then it moved again, pew, pew. And Ezekiel the prophet described it perfectly. He said, that the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. That's how fast those so-called UFOs are. Just to give you an idea, they're extremely fast. So indeed, the Lord Yahweh through his son Yahushai, when he comes back, because that's what this verse is dealing with, Yahushua's second coming, he's going to be riding upon a swift cloud, a swift so-called UFO. And shall come into Egypt, that's America. All right, this is the Lord's second coming. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And Evil E is going to have no answer for these so-called UFOs. He won't be able to fight against it. He won't be able to combat it. He won't be able to prevail against it. All right? This is Revelation, is it 17 or 19? I'll try 19. Yeah, Revelation 19 and verse 14. And the armies which were in heaven followed him with armies. That's the angels riding in so-called UFOs during the Lord's second coming. It says, and the armies which were in heaven followed him. Followed who? Yahushai. Upon white horses. White represents purity, horses represent power. So they're coming back with pure power within those so-called UFOs. They're coming back within so-called UFOs. All right? Clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, as the laser coming out of the ship. That with it he should smite the nations, smite meaning to kill. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. Yeah, that's going to take place in the kingdom. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of almighty power. So, and who are those grapes? Because when you make wine, you need grapes. Who are the grapes? That's the people. So it's going to be much bloodshed, much killing. Just like stomping out a bunch of grapes. The blood of the grape gets all over the place. It says, and he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That's the Lord Yahushua. Okay. Now let's jump over to Revelation 17. That's not the one I had wanted earlier, but this is pretty good too. It's captioned victory for the Lamb. Revelation 17 and 14. These shall make war with the Lamb. All right. So the armies of these other nations are going to make war with Yahushua. And the Lamb, that's Yahushua, shall overcome them. And what is he going to overcome them with? With the so-called UFOs. Matthew 24, verse 30 and 31. He's come back within chariots, so-called UFOs. Pursuant to Psalm 104 and 3, it says, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the water, who maketh the clouds his chariot, meaning his vehicle. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. So they're not going to win. That's how you know that they didn't shoot down the so-called UFO. Because when the Lord comes back with the so-called UFOs, he's going to prevail against Esau. It's already written. It's going to happen. All praises, honors, and glories be to Yahweh, Shem, Shai, double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.